am very nervous. I am in my car because I have a very big tribe, and not all of my tribe know about this. So I'm going to talk as fast as I can before I get interrupted. Um, okay, so I'm only telling this story because I haven't pre-thought how I'm going to even introduce myself. My name is Tracy. I had an encounter with a gray alien, and the reason I am telling my story is because some of you have asked me to share it. Real quick. Um, and that it might help you guys, and that's the only reason. Otherwise, I have literally kept this quiet for 20 years. 22 years. So I am in my car to tell you the story. Okay, so I used to work third shift. I had my daughter, she was 3, which came from a very odd pregnancy, and I shouldn't have been able to have her. And I never had another baby since. That's for another story. Um, sorry, I was just thinking. I did die with her. Her name is Angel for that reason, because I didn't think she should have lived because it was very weird circumstances. But I don't think that these connect. I'm not sure. So I worked third shift. I was laying on my green couch in the middle of nowhere. Ironically, where I've moved here, I moved here like 2 years ago. I'm only about 10 miles away from where this happened, which is also in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so I was laying on my couch in the midday. I worked third shift, so I was just laying there, and my daughter was in and out. She went back in her room. She had a bunch of rats that and bred. There was like 50 of them, and they were all our pets. Um, so she had her toys and her little animals and stuff. And my son was back here with my ex, and they were playing, I guess, Nintendo, the great thing with the cartridges. I don't know if it's Super or just Nintendo. Um, I laid my arm on top of my head like this. It's kind of just like this. Okay, I was laying on my left side, and all I could see was like around my kneecap area in front of me of the couch. Now, the sun was shining in my window, and that's why I had my arm over my face like that. And oh my gosh, okay. All right. So I don't know how this happened, guys. I really don't. Um, sorry I'm getting a little shaky talking about this, but um okay. So I don't know how this happened. I'm just gonna skip over that so I don't keep saying it. But somehow, in the moment, I don't know how, a gray alien, he was probably about 3 foot, maybe a little over 3 foot. I'm 5 foot, and he was much, much shorter than me. Have very, very strong feeling it was a boy. Um, he was standing where my knees were on my couch, bent together, but out about 1.25 feet. And so pretty close to me. And I could see him. I could see his head. I could see his neck. I could see his chest, but I could not see his pelvic down because of where my knees and the couch was and how close he was and how my arm was over my face. Now, first I'm going to say what he looked like. He was gray. He had the very, very typical big black eyes, and they were like black. Um, I can't remember because I was freaking out. If he had a nose area or something there, and it seemed like he had like a slit as of for a mouth or something. Um, I could like barely see him because of the way I had my arm over my face and my body was paralyzed. I could not lift my arm. I could not move my head. I could not move my body. I don't talk about this. I try not to cry. Let this car go by. So I'm really trying not to cry. So comes another car. Okay. I want to make this quick and painless as possible on myself. Um, but I couldn't move my body. I couldn't move my legs, my arms, my head. I could move my eyeballs and I could breathe. And I'm saying that very clear so you guys can hear me because that's all I could do. Literally, I couldn't move any other part of my body. All I could think at that moment was, I want to scream for my ex who was in the other room with my son. I was freaked out and I didn't know why he was there and I couldn't scream. So all I could do was just look at him. Maybe it felt like 40 seconds. And I remember I looked at him and I'm not trying to take up for him when I say this, but I had a lot of experiences from time I was 4 years old till time that this happened. So I was not shocked, but I was just shocked he was in my house in the middle of nowhere more than anything. Um, so okay, try not to cry. So because I've never had a problem with any of the other people in the other dimensions, bes- besides a few, but they weren't aliens. Um, I've never felt threatened by the Greys. Um, but I've never had one in my home a foot and a quarter from me. And I looked at him in his eyes, and he was looking at me, right? And I'm thinking I want to scream. And he looked at me, and I don't know if I'm going to do this face right, but he did this like that. And it scared me because I thought, is he trying to terrify me? Um, because it looked terrifying, but he didn't do it with his face. His face didn't change. He sent it to me telepathically. That's what it's seen. But he did it. But his face didn't move, but he did that to me. Um, and since I've tried to understand, because there's been other incidences as I've gotten older. I mean, this was 22 years ago. And I know that they're not here to harm me or us. Um, so I don't know if that he was trying to express something like a smile, but it just didn't look like a smile. It was very terrifying smile, but maybe they don't know how to smile. So telepathically, he was trying to send me a smile. I don't know. I'm just trying to take up for him because I really don't feel anything evil from him. But I wanted to scream because he was right so close to me and he was very real. It wasn't a ghost. I've been seeing ghosts since I was 4 years old. I know the difference in a ghost and a person and an alien, and he was very real. And if I had not seen him, I would definitely agree that the government's like, controlling all this stuff, but he came to me in the middle of nowhere, Kentucky, guys. Like, there was no helicopters, there was no nothing, there was no way he got there, there was no way the government put him there. Otherwise, that's exactly what I would think. So, the problem of all this is I thought when you're done and when you leave, I'm gonna scream because right now I can't scream, and it's all I could think. I didn't try and communicate in those 40 seconds, I just wanted to scream. Well, then I don't remember anything, and I was up sitting on the edge of my couch where my head was laying prior to that. So, I don't remember getting up. I don't remember moving all the way down to the edge of the couch and sitting on the edge of the couch where my head was. If I would have sat up in the spot to where I was, I would have brought my knees down to the ground after I was done being paralyzed or whatever. He had me held or whatever reason I couldn't move. And I would have brought my body up, and that would have put me in the center of my couch. And this is what I don't get. I don't remember anything. Don't know how much time was lapsed, but I was on the end of my couch sitting. And I didn't scream. All I remember from that point was I was on the end of my couch with my head in my hands, and I was crying. I don't remember how I got to the end of my couch. I don't remember how I got my head in my hands. I don't remember when I started crying. I don't remember anything. So that is the story. There's not much more to that story, except for the fact that my daughter remembers it, and she remembers it very well. And like I said, she was running in and out of the room. I don't know if she's seen him. She was 3 years old. I never mentioned this to her until recently, and she was like, "I remember, Mom." And I was like, "Well, I don't remember." So, I don't know that you were in there because I don't remember anything. The way I was laying, I couldn't see if you could have ran in there. I was paralyzed, and time lapse of whatever happened, I don't remember her coming in there because I don't remember anything. Um, that's the story. Um, it is a very simple story. I said it, and I said it for those that um also have likewise stories and that are afraid to talk. And this is why I'm telling my story. Otherwise, I really would rather not anybody know. Um, just because people cast so much labels and want to call me crazy and all that great stuff. But um, so yeah, I'm actually putting the story out here, and I know that I'm going to hear some backlash, but I do hope that there are people out there that have been through this and know what I'm talking about when well, it's car pass. When I say I don't think that he was there to hurt me, and I there's a cop coming weirdly. I'm literally in the middle of the mountains right now, so might as well go ahead and close this down so it don't be too loud. But yeah, it was very weird, guys. I don't know. I just don't feel like he was there to hurt me. I don't feel like he was a bad being. Um, but I would like to know if anybody's had an experience like this that you've seen their face make a face without their face moving. I'm really curious about that because that's something I've never heard. So, of course, I've studied into this to try and not feel alone my whole life. I've listened to a lot of people's stories because I didn't want to feel like something's wrong with me or alone or anything like that. So I do know there's that people's been through this, but I don't know if anybody knows what I'm talking about the face and what you guys might think that I'm going to show you one more time. But he went like it was creepy, creepy, guys. But he could have been just trying to smile because his face structure didn't look like he could have smiled because the slit thing didn't look like it could have really smiled. So I don't know if he was trying to just smile. Here comes the cop. I'm going to end this now. Thank you for the two people that are watching. This is for a bunch of people that did want to hear the story, and I do hope it helps that you're not alone, guys. Yeah, God bless you guys, and can't wait to see the comments.